Hello people of the internet, welcome to episode 39 of Paint to Life, the YouTube channel where we take tiny plastic miniatures, throw some acrylic paint on them, and breathe life into them with storytelling so you might learn something new on the subject or perhaps find a unique idea to take and make your own. If you're a fan of my original storytelling, here's how you can help this channel grow. Number 1, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share this video on your social media platforms. Number 2, throw a like and a comment if you feel like doing so. And 3, please watch the video all the way to the end. I know it sounds superfluous, but these sorts of things really do help the YouTube gods and help me grow, so I appreciate it. Enough of that. I'm GM Atank. Let's get painting. Alright, so last week we took a Noel's Marvelous Miniatures Frost Giant and customized it with a festive theme, gave it a unique rhyme, and thus Crush Kringle was born. If you missed it, you can find the episode here. It's absolutely amazing how many people thought that Crush Kringle was a real thing. My own mother included. Holy smokes. This week we're going to be talking about presents. Midwinter presents to be precise, and the meaning of the season. I've had this miniature since I brought all 10 of the chromatic and metallic dragons, and I was going to paint it, but I was pretty much dragging out after all that. But my son kept bugging me, and I told him I'd do it for his birthday, which is shortly coming up, so here it goes. In the Forgotten Realms, a world modeled after Earth at various cultures and points of time, but predominantly medieval Europe, you can't think of a cooler toy than a Clockwork toy. Made by scientifically minded gnomes, engineers, and wizard-like artificers, Clockwork toys are mechanical marvels that walk the line between engineering and magic. These things usually had a basic function like lighting a flame, telling the time, but they were bundled in cute little metal shells and shapes and animal forms. The ultimate of such creations were Clockwork dragons. Most of the time, Clockwork dragons were built to resemble the good metallic dragons, but some creators would model them after their evil chromatic counterparts as well. Super skilled creators would even outfit their construction with a breath weapon, just like the real deal. And each creation had some kind of controlling rod, whether it be a rod almost like a remote control, or a circlet, which would allow the user to issue commands and orders to the construct. They didn't require food, water, air, sleep, and they acted almost entirely to the whims of the person or the wielder who had the device that controlled them. So, who was our Clockwork toy? Well, Baldur's Gate was the largest metropolis and city-state on the Sword Coast and within the greater Western Heartlands. It was a crowded city of commerce and opportunity, perhaps the most prosperous and influential merchant city on the western coast of Faerun. Snow had just begun to fall on the city when the rich noble Wendell Wintermere and his daughter Juliana were making their way through the streets, heading back to Upper City where they lived from a day in the bay on their ship. Now on their way they pass a homeless person begging for food, who has a clockwork dragon perched on his shoulder. Now this clockwork toy is exquisite. It's made of brass, bronze, plates of iron, and wings stitched together with little teeny pieces of leather and cloth, and it's quite beautiful to behold. The young girl is smitten by the toy, and she wants it for a midwinter present. Midwinter is kind of like the Faerunian version of Christmas, which is happening very soon.
Oh, Daddy, please get that for me, Daddy. It's so pretty. I want it to make my friends jealous. They'll think it was crafted by Gaunt himself in the House of Wonders.
Wendell looks pitifully up and down the man who reeks of filth.
You there, how about I give you 50 gold for that trinket?
It's all I have left of my old life. It's not for sale.
Disappointing. The nobles move along, much to the disappointment of his daughter Juliana. Now days have passed since this encounter, and his daughter will not stop whining.
I can't believe you, Father. If Athena Felton's father finds and buys that for her, I will just die.
Now it's Midwinter's morning, a time of giving, love, and companionship. The Wintermere family are opening their presents for one another, and Juliana can hear a tick, 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 tick tock from inside her box, and she's ecstatic. She rips open the packaging and her bliss quickly drains when she realizes that inside is a beautifully crafted, gnomish clockwork toy dragon worth probably 300 gold. It has inlaid rubies, it walks, it flaps its wings, and when you crank it, it produces a small little flame out of its mouth.
This is not the one I wanted, Daddy!
She cries and throws it against the mantel above the fireplace, smashing it into pieces.
I wanted the one that flies! You don't even love me, do you?
Juliana storms away, and Mrs. Wintermere is disappointed in her husband. She should have just paid the man what he wanted to get her princess what she needed. And she sends him out right then, midwinter morning, into the snow to find that vagabond and do right by their little princess. After hours and hours of looking and tens of gold and tipping city guards to be helpful, Wendell rediscovers the man under a bridge in Lower City.
Well met, friend.
Says Wendell as he attempts not to retch under the smell of the squalor.
Listen, perhaps I wasn't so clear. I am noble. I could just take this from you if I wanted, but I'm not like that.
If you took this from me, you would regret it, my lord.
A small crackle of electricity flashes across the man's eyes.
Very well. Take 1,000 gold. Sell me that toy.
I told you, this is no mere toy. It is a daily reminder of my pain and suffering, and as a result, I will not part with it.
The small toy dragon then gently takes to the air, flies around both men, and returns to his destitute shoulder peak. Wendell gently puts his hand on his sword hilt, but then sighs. His daughter will just have to accept that she can't always get what she wants, and he returns back to the Wintermere Manor, empty-handed. However, upon return, Juliana is even more incensed that he did not bring it back for her, and outright refuses to talk to her father. Now, a week passes of Juliana ignoring her father, and he's had enough. He reaches out to a regiment of the Flaming Fist. Now, they're a mercenary company that's tasked with protecting the various districts of Baldur's Gate for the right price, of course. So he describes the old man and the construct and falsely claims that it had been stolen from their estate. Now, under that bridge in Lower City, the patrol of Flaming Fist find the man. They formally charge him and demand that he hand over Wendell's property. When he refuses and stands up, the men mercilessly beat him with their maces. They beat him until he falls unconscious into a heap on the ground. And when this happens, the tiny clockwork dragon starts to vent some steam and charges at each man harmlessly as they laugh and collect it and put it into a burlap sack. There's a knock on the front door of the Wintermere estate.
My lord, your property returned. Was there violence? He was beat pretty bad. He's at Ilmater's Mercy Clinic for the destitute. He's probably not going to make it. He is very old. Are you pretending to care? Good point. Thank you.
A speechless Wendell says.
Oh, Juliana, Daddy has a surprise for you, my dear.
The smile quickly returns to his face. From out the bag, the toy dragon flies, darting from corner to corner to corner around the estate, frantically flying as if looking for something. Juliana laughs and chases it around, trying to catch it.
Oh my god, Daddy, I love it so much. You're the best daddy in the world.
An aged and brilliant, as well as good-natured artificer named Jarvis has just completed his grandest creation to date, a huge clockwork dragon that's modeled after a gold dragon in both size and potency. He names his creation XT93. Interestingly, he's created in such a way that he can control it mentally without using a control rod or a circlet the way other creatures of this type typically employ. However, something is not right, and Jarvis quickly realizes that the act of keeping the dragon under control is exhausting. Eventually, he falls asleep, and when he awakens, he finds that XT93 has destroyed his workshop and killed many of his assistants, and yet it stands over him, looking down fondly at his master. Later, when guards come to investigate the destruction, the construct's eyes glow yellow. It emits steam and charges headstrong at the intruders, slaughtering them before Jarvis can reassert control and stop it from rampaging. For days, he struggles to stay awake. He needs to devote 100% of his concentration to keeping his creation in line. With no other choice in using powerful magic, he casts a spell which shrinks the clockwork dragon down to the size of a grapefruit. Now, maintaining this transmutation requires all of his active and passive concentration, which means he can no longer use his mind to control the dragon. But due to the diminutive size of the creature now, it's really no harm to anyone except for small rodents and insects. Jarvis weeps as he realizes that additionally, this means he also cannot cast any other spells without risking breaking the magic that binds his greatest creation and his greatest failure. Now, no one knew that scruffy homeless person was Jarvis, the great Artificer, a once well-respected man now forever on the run for crimes committed by his life's work. Now, no one also knew that once great mind lay forgotten on a cot in one of the dark places of the city, while the internal wounds caused from his vicious beating overcame him. It was 7:34 p.m. when Jarvis breathed his last breath. A nurse nearby overheard his final word, a gasp, XT-93, before Kellenvor, Lord of the Dead, came for him. And it was 7:35 p.m. when the empowered transmutation magic, which had been affecting the construct for over 2,000 days, suddenly ceased, causing the roof of Wintermere Manor to shatter as the now huge, enraged Clockwork Dragon began killing and destroying everyone and everything around it, looking for its master. XT-93, the Clockwork Dragon. Alright, I hope you liked that episode. If you did, please like and throw some comments down below for me. Here is XT-93 for the shelf. Special thanks to my daughter Claire for voicing a character way out of her comfort zone tonight as a spoiled daughter. Today I was at my friendly local gaming store Phoenix Rising doing a live painting demonstration. I'm sure I saw some of you there, working on these guys, who are going to be episode 40 of Paint to Life, releasing next week. Head on down to the store and pick up some brushes, paints, and some of the new Wave 13 Nolzl's Marvelous Miniatures. You can paint along with us here on Paint to Life. And remember, if you're not local, head on down to your friendly local gaming store. Make sure in both instances to tell them the GM Atank sent you. That's all I've got for tonight, folks. As always, have a great week. I'm GM Atank, and don't forget, wash your hands. He names his creation XV-93.